Morning coffee is not only a great way to boost your mood and kickstart a new day, but it can also make tasks easier to accomplish. It is these qualities that can make coffee your favorite beverage. However, how much do you really know about your morning elixir? There are many more benefits hidden in coffee than most people assume. It can protect against diseases such as type 2 diabetes and heart failure, improve concentration and energy levels, prevent the development of cirrhosis and liver cancer, reduce the risk of stroke and diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, increase stamina in athletes, and has been linked to a lower risk of depression and suicide. Interesting point. Who lives longer, coffee fans or those who avoid it? And what's the situation with coffee in children? Is it safe to consume it, and from what age? We will also highlight contraindications to coffee consumption, give advice on how to get the most out of the drink, and outline a safe daily rate of its consumption for adults and children. There are a lot of interesting facts about coffee that you may not know. This video will be extremely informative and useful. So, if you want to become a master of your health, click like, and let's get started. It is believed that coffee was first discovered in Ethiopia and the Kaffa region, which gave the drink its name. According to legend, a shepherd named Kaldi noticed that his goats became unusually alert after eating the berries of a certain shrub. Later, local monks used these berries to make a drink that helped them stay awake during prayer hours at night. Coffee then spread to the Arabian Peninsula, where it began to be cultivated and became an important part of Arab culture. In the 15th and 16th centuries, coffee became known in Persia, Egypt, Turkey, and North Africa. Coffee houses became popular places of socializing. Coffee came to Europe in the 17th century via trade routes and quickly gained popularity. Especially in Italy, France, and England, coffee arrived in America in the late 17th century, but did not become widely popular until the 18th century, especially after the Boston Tea Party in 1773, when American colonists began giving up tea to protest the high taxes imposed by the British government. This event contributed to the rise of coffee consumption in America. Coffee became an integral part of American culture, and with the development of coffee chains in the 20th and 21st centuries, its popularity only increased. You will be amazed to learn that coffee is a fruit. You may think that coffee is grown on tea plantations and acquires its qualities after the leaves are harvested. However, this is not the case. Coffee cherries are fruits because they have seeds that are not part of the plant, like the root. Coffee plants produce fruit, and the beans grow inside the fruit. That being said, the berries come in two types, red and green. Red berries have a more pleasant aroma and less acidic taste, making them preferable for lightly roasted coffee. It is time to tell you about the benefits of drinking coffee. Coffee supports the heart and blood vessels. Coffee helps to improve the overall health of your heart. Drinking 3 to 5 cups of coffee a day protects you from heart disease, improves your overall heart health, and reduces your risk of dying from cardiovascular complications. One review found that drinking nearly 4 cups of coffee a day reduced the risk of stroke by 21%. And that's not all. A study of nearly 21,000 people also found that drinking large amounts of coffee significantly reduces the risk of heart failure. However, if you're a coffee drinker, remember that caffeine can regulate your blood pressure levels. Therefore, if your blood pressure is unregulated, you need to limit or moderate your caffeine intake. You can learn exactly how coffee affects your blood vessels in our great video, link in the description. In addition, your liver is also very fond of coffee. Liver disease is a serious condition that can lead to life-threatening complications, including cirrhosis. The good news is that coffee can keep your liver healthy and protect against this disease. A daily cup of coffee reduces the risk of dying from chronic liver disease by 15%. If you're an avid coffee drinker, you'll be happy to know that drinking 4 cups a day reduces the risk of dying from liver disease by about 70%. Studies have shown that drinking more than 2 cups of coffee a day reduces the risk of developing liver cancer and liver scarring if you are living with liver disease. Coffee also reduces liver stiffness, which is associated with the formation of scar tissue. For a detailed video on the effects of coffee on the liver, we recommend following the link in the description. Coffee loves your brain, and it's not just about improving concentration. Coffee can protect you from Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a progressive brain disease that affects your ability to think and leads to memory loss. Unfortunately, There is currently no cure, but early diagnosis and treatment can slow the progression of the disease. A review of studies has shown that the more coffee you consume, the lower your risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. It also reduces the risk of developing Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease is a progressive neurological disease that results in impaired balance and movement. As with Alzheimer's disease, there is currently no cure for it, but there are treatments available to slow the progression of the disease. However, if you drink coffee regularly, your risk of developing Parkinson's is much lower, and coffee can also slow the progression of the disease. In addition, limited coffee consumption can reduce your risk of developing dementia and cognitive decline. Coffee may protect you from type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic disease that affects the body's response to sugar. When blood sugar levels remain high, it can lead to serious health problems. Drinking coffee can help you reduce your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. According to a study, people who drink coffee have a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes than those who don't drink coffee, whether it contains caffeine or not. This effect is because coffee protects the functionality of beta cells in the pancreas that produce insulin, which regulates blood sugar levels. Coffee also contains magnesium, which helps the body break down sugar. Are you trying to control your weight? We have good news for you. Caffeine can also help you control your weight, stay fit, and fight obesity. Coffee supports gut health and alters fat deposition, which is beneficial for weight control and heart health. A recent review showed that men with low body fat consumed high amounts of caffeine as part of coffee. Other studies prove that it has the same effect on women as well. Another study showed that people who consumed more than 1 cup of coffee a day were almost 20% more likely to meet the recommended physical activity. This is a proven fact that recommended physical activity is higher than those who consume less than 1 cup per day. You can add coffee to your weight loss plan, but make sure you don't add fatty milk or sugar to it. You've probably wondered why coffee boosts energy levels. Coffee contains large amounts of the stimulant substance caffeine. Caffeine boosts energy levels by increasing your metabolic rate and fighting fatigue. It also increases the release of adrenaline, the brain's energy hormone. Caffeine blocks receptors for a neurotransmitter called adenosine. Your nervous system controls adenosine levels, and when they get dangerously high, your brain slows down and you want to take a nap, or at least slow down. After drinking coffee, adenosine levels decrease and levels of neurotransmitters like dopamine increase, which boosts energy levels. A study of cycling participants after drinking caffeine found that coffee increased cycling time by 12% and significantly reduced fatigue levels. Another study had similar results, but it was conducted on golfers. In this study, it was found that consuming caffeine before and during golf increased performance, reduced fatigue, and increased subjective energy levels. The next fact may surprise you, but coffee reduces the risk of developing depression. Some studies have shown that drinking coffee reduces the risk of developing depression and helps reduce its symptoms. Every cup of coffee you consume daily reduces your risk of developing depression by 8%. One study found that in over 200,000 people, coffee consumption was associated with a lower risk of death by suicide. Another study noted that drinking at least 4 cups of coffee was associated with a significantly lower risk of developing depression than people who drank just 1 cup a day. Coffee also has beneficial effects on the skin. Coffee beans contain polyphenols such as chlorogenic acids called CGAs, which have antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties that can protect you from photoaging. You can apply liquid coffee on your skin or use a scrub made from coffee grounds. This will help you deal with skin problems like psoriasis, eczema, and acne. Just don't forget to refrigerate the coffee before using it. Last but not least, coffee improves athletic performance. You've probably heard that caffeine can dehydrate the body, which is one of the main reasons fitness experts recommend avoiding its consumption before and after a workout. However, a recent study has shown that moderate caffeine consumption before a workout increases endurance and reduces perceived exertion. Athletes who want to increase their performance and energy levels often consume coffee as an ergogenic agent. Ergogenic is also known as a performance enhancer. In another study involving about 125 older adults, it was noted that coffee consumption was associated with significant improvements in physical performance and gait speed. The researchers took into account factors such as age, amount of body fat, and level of physical activity. All of these facts and the health benefits of drinking coffee are amazing, but that doesn't mean you should readily increase the amount of coffee you consume. Now, pay attention. Coffee consumption has a number of contraindications, which include 1. Pregnancy and breastfeeding. Excessive coffee consumption can increase the risk of miscarriage, low birth weight, and other adverse effects. During breastfeeding, caffeine can be passed to the baby through breast milk. 2. Insomnia. Caffeine can disrupt the falling asleep process and shorten the duration of sleep. 3. Anxiety. Caffeine may increase symptoms of anxiety in some people. 4. Arterial hypertension. Caffeine can cause an increase in blood pressure in some people. 5. Heart disease. People with heart disease, especially those with arrhythmias, should limit their caffeine intake. 6. Peptic ulcer disease and gastritis. Coffee can aggravate symptoms of acid reflux, gastritis, and peptic ulcers. 7. Osteoporosis. Excessive caffeine consumption can contribute to the leaching of calcium from the bones, which is especially important for people with osteoporosis. 8. Urinary stone disease. Caffeine can increase diuresis, potentially triggering an exacerbation of urolithiasis in some people. These are only general guidelines, and individual reactions to caffeine can vary widely. If you have chronic diseases or other health conditions, it is recommended that you consult your doctor about caffeine consumption. In some people, coffee in high doses can cause irritability, anxiety, or nervousness, as well as affecting sleep quality and causing insomnia. At what age and how much coffee should children drink? Recommendations for coffee consumption by children vary depending on the source. But most health organizations agree that it is best for children under 12 years of age to abstain from caffeine. After age 12, moderate consumption is allowed, which should not exceed 100 milligrams of caffeine per day. In comparison, a standard cup of coffee, 240 milliliters, contains approximately 95 milligrams of caffeine. However, it is important to remember that caffeine is not only found in coffee, but also in tea, some soft drinks, energy drinks, and chocolate. All of these sources of caffeine should be considered when calculating a child's daily caffeine intake. Caffeine can have a variety of effects on children's bodies, including sleep disturbances, increased nervousness, and concentration problems. It is important to approach children's caffeine intake on an individualized basis, taking into account possible side effects and the child's overall health. So how much coffee is considered healthy and how much is too much for adults? 2 to 3 medium cups a day, as long as they are free of milk, cream, and sugar. Caffeine affects everyone differently, so if you start to experience any negative side effects, consider cutting back on your coffee consumption. Finally, how do I maximize the health benefits of drinking coffee? To maximize the health benefits of coffee, follow these guidelines. 1. Moderate consumption. Studies show that moderate coffee consumption, 3 to 4 cups per day, can provide health benefits, including reducing the risk of certain chronic diseases. However, consuming higher doses can lead to side effects such as insomnia or palpitations. 2. Avoid added sugar and cream. Adding large amounts of sugar, cream, or syrups can reduce the health benefits of coffee by adding unnecessary calories and fat. If you need to add flavor, try using natural sweeteners or small amounts of milk, plant milk. 3. Choose quality coffee. High-quality coffee is more likely to contain more antioxidants and fewer impurities that can be harmful. 4. Watch the timing of consumption. Avoid drinking coffee in the afternoon to avoid disrupting your natural sleep cycle. Consuming caffeine 6 hours before bedtime can seriously affect sleep quality. 5. Consider personal tolerance. It is important to listen to your own body and determine how coffee affects your well-being. Some people are more sensitive to caffeine and may experience unwanted effects from even small doses. 6. Keep a balance. Make sure that drinking coffee does not replace your intake of water or nutritious food. Coffee can contribute to dehydration, so it's important to drink enough water throughout the day. 7. Awareness of drug interactions. Caffeine can interact with some medications, so if you are taking any medications, be sure to consult your doctor about possible interactions. By following these guidelines, you can maximize the positive effects of coffee on your health while avoiding possible negative effects. Although there are over 100 types of coffee, the two main ones that are produced and sold around the world are Arabica and Robusta Canephora. Arabica is the most popular of them all, mainly because of the flavor. Robusta is bitter because it contains almost twice as much caffeine. The extra caffeine in Robusta coffee acts as a natural defense mechanism against insects and other parasites, so Robusta is easier to grow and care for. This is also why it tends to be cheaper than Arabica. Which one is your favorite? Well, you probably don't know this because today coffee producers can blend the two types. For example, Italian espresso beans contain Robusta coffee because it improves the crema. Yes, coffee is a science in itself. Sometimes coffee is the real magic. So, if your body responds well to coffee, enjoy all its health benefits. Have a cup of coffee in the morning and enjoy a productive day. By the way, we made a great video where we answered the question, who lives longer, coffee drinkers or those who don't drink it? The link is in the description below the video. We highly recommend watching it. You can find more information on this topic at the links in the description under this video and on our channel. Subscribe and hit the bell for all notifications. Please like and share this video with your friends. Thanks to our sponsors for their support. I eagerly await your comments and encourage you to watch these useful videos.